I want to talk about bariatric sleeve surgery or various forms of sleeve surgery. It seems to be more and more common these days, whereby someone who has undertaken various methods of weight loss without success goes down the path of looking at surgery. And some would classify this as extreme surgery because obviously it's invasive. They're effectively changing your digestive system in terms of wrapping a sleeve around your large intestine, I believe it might be, or your stomach, to ensure that you have a limited ability in terms of how much you can consume at any given time. Now, while the promise of weight loss is there, and obviously it's pretty much guaranteed because with a limitation of what you can consume, naturally the body's going to lose weight, particularly if you're a heavier person at the start. But what they don't elaborate on, or what the research doesn't provide, what the doctors don't provide in terms of research, is the after effect, the prolonged effect of what this can do, not only to your body, but your mind, years and years and years post-surgery. Now, you've got to imagine your stomach like a balloon, right? When you blow it up, it's full. When it shrinks down, it's quite small. If you wrap a very tight rubber band around that balloon, it's going to restrict how much air can go into that balloon. Now, this is the same thing in terms of food in the stomach. So by restricting how much food you can consume in the stomach, you're not giving your body sufficient nutrition, as well as the byproducts of nutrition being energy. So you can then have constant periods of lethargy, tiredness, exhaustion. If you are a regular weight trainer or any form of exercise for that matter, you potentially don't have the support system behind that exercise to not only fuel it and get through it, but to provide sufficient rehabilitation and recovery post-workout because of the limitation. I work with a number of people over a number of years to metabolically adapt their system to a better performing system, whereby it can fuel the body sufficiently with adequate amount of calories. So they may come to me having dieted and started on, say, 1,500. I'm just going to use round numbers as examples. Through the process of metabolic adaptation, we can get them well over 2,000 calories. Now, with someone with a sleeve, those limitations and that process of metabolic adaptation is extremely limited because of that situation where you can't obviously adapt the body to take on more food. So, you've got to think long term. Now, unfortunately, we're in a society where we don't think like that. We think short term. We want short term results, short term fixes. We want to see the results now. And I understand, someone who is obviously overweight or considers himself overweight to have this mindset of, I just want to get this weight off, and they're not prepared to wait. Whereas, the traditional methods of dieting and exercise obviously are determined by a timeline. It could take someone several months, if not a year or two, to get to that physique that they're actually looking for. Whereas bariatric surgery can provide a much sooner result, and a very quick result. The other thing to consider too is if you are a heavy set person and have been that way for a period of time, obviously the aggressive nature of weight loss through bariatric surgery can constitute or can result in a lot of loose skin, because the body will reduce in size quite quickly due to the reduction in calorie intake from the surgery. Thereby, the skin can't keep up. So you're going to have a lot of loose skin. So thereby, you're going to actually have to have potential skin removal surgery down the track too, to obviously tidy things up and make yourself look appeasing for you. So that's another thing that has to be considered. These surgeries are obviously very expensive. I think they range from 5 to 20 grand in terms of the sleeve surgery, and then anything on top of that. So you're looking to spend quite a significant amount of money. Whereas if you work with an individual, a coach, a trainer, a nutritionist, and have the mindset, have the frame of mind to understand that this will take time. This will be something that will work over time, but you're going to set yourself up long term. Sustainable, healthy approaches are what gets you the results that you desire, rather than a quick fix that then has repercussions down the track. So for anyone that's considering the surgery, please exhaust all options. Please make sure that you research every avenue, not only the process of the surgery and the quick recovery afterwards, but the prolonged effects of having that surgery. What does it do to your metabolism? What does it do to your hormones? What does it do to cognitive function of your brain? What does it do to the energy system? These things need to be asked to ensure that you are fully aware of the decision you're making. Now, for those that may be watching this and have had the surgery, there's not a problem. This is not a judgmental video by any means. is purely providing inside information. So if you've had the surgery and you're still struggling to lose weight, or you want to try and improve your metabolism, any form of qualified sports nutritionist can assist. If you want to go down a further educational path, bariatric dietitians are the way to go, but they're few and far between. But to improve your metabolism, it will take time. Okay, we've got to train the body to eat more food in a manner that is accepting. So, we're talking potentially liquids and things like that, but you've got to support that with training. The more training, the more muscle mass you can develop, obviously the more fuel you can burn, but it takes time. It takes significant time. The surgery will only get you so far in terms of weight loss. After that, you probably will plateau at some point, depending on where you start to where you potentially can go. So a lot of things to consider, a lot of factors to understand. So I applaud everyone to make sure that you are fully aware of the decision you're making before you make it. Don't think of it as a first point of call. If you've had some non-successful dieting episodes, where it be you've done an 8-week challenge and it didn't really work, or you've worked with a couple of trainers in the past and that didn't really work. Okay, sleeve surgery should be a last resort, if that. Just make sure you go and get professional advice, get a second, get a third opinion in regards to people who have worked with a number of clients in the past and have had success removing a lot of weight. If you've seen transformations whereby the coach has been able to successfully get 20, 30, 40, 50 kilos off someone and keep it off them through education and successful evidence-based practices, then they're the people to talk to rather than surgery. Surgery should be the last resort, and that goes across a number of factors, but I won't get into that today. So that's my take on bariatric surgery. Again, no judgment to those who have already decided to have it. I applaud you for obviously taking that massive step, but if you are struggling in terms of having success beyond what the surgery has provided in terms of weight loss, then obviously seek a professional and get further assistance to help you.